Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
I'll tell you right away, this is take two. What I love about this podcast is we usually do it live around my dining room table in Hermitage, which is just outside of Nashville near the airport. And sometimes we get off to a rocky start and we got to restart. You know, things like my cat, Juliet, likes to just jump on the table and be part of the show. Wasn't her fault this time. It was mine and my squirrel brain over here. We've got great artists to introduce you to today. They are Goldpine. And they are based here in Nashville, but it's good to have you here on the show. It's Ben and Kassie.
Yeah.
Got that right.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. I called her Maisie as we did a false start here earlier because Maisie is Wilson. Wilson is your last name. Yeah, I have a neighbor, believe it or not, down the street named Maisie Wilson. So, but this is Kassie, all right?
That's right.
I'm an idiot, but thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm going to tell folks about you. You're getting a lot of love from our local radio station, my favorite, which is WMOT, Roots Radio here. They're in Murfreesboro, but they serve all of Tennessee, I swear. They're a fantastic station. They stream online, so you'll hear them there. But they're also playing all over. They've got their own little, like, mobile van. I love it. You guys are traveling in style, man. All over. Yeah.
Yeah, we just lived for 2 months in that van.
Did you?
Yeah. After this podcast will be the first time we'll be able to go to our house in several months. So
home is where you park it.
Sounds like a song in there. It really does.
Last night it was at Love's gas station.
That's right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate you. You're playing all over. I know the Kerrville Festival. You did that in 2021. You were nominated, finalist, right? Finalist for the contest?
In the songwriting contest, yeah.
Yep.
That is such an honor.
It was an honor. And we actually are playing the Kerrville Folk Festival this year, May the 26th.
Fabulous.
So we are super excited about
That's
that.
like the big folk festival.
Yeah.
One,
We're so excited. Yeah.
We've had two past winners on this show, Efren White and Shannon Address. So I'm hoping this will have the same kind of luck for you.
Yes.
Next time around, for sure. Now, you also going to be playing at the 30A Fest in Florida, Santa Rosa Beach. That's coming up, next week? Week after?
January the 13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be our second year to play at that. And it's such a cool festival. Such a great setting. God, right on the beach there. It's just amazing.
How does it get any better than that?
I know.
And that beautiful emerald water. You were, let's see what else. I'm just reading through the amazing resume here. Bristol Rhythm and Roots reunion. You do that. And you won this year. You won the 2022 in Colorado. What was it?
It was in Montana.
Montana?
Yeah.
See how squirrel brain I am?
It was the Rocky Mountain Songwriter Festival.
Rocky Mountain Songwriter Festival.
At the Red Lodge Festival, yeah. And so we won that with a song that we wrote about my mom called My Favorite Parts of You.
Ooh,
and so we get to go back this year. We're already booked and we're playing the festival as a featured performer in June.
Wow,
yeah, the Red Lodge Festival we're playing, yeah.
Red Lodge. That is fantastic. Now, is that a song that you've recorded?
Yeah. It has been recorded under our old name because we changed our band name.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. You were once known as One and Only?
My One and Only.
My One and Only.
Yeah, but that song is special, and it's had a lot of favor because that song also is what got us as a finalist in the Kerrville competition, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a special song.
Yep. I want to play one of your latest songs from your new album, One, that came out in August of this past year. Yeah. And this is a song that's out there video-wise. You can get this anywhere. So it's called Wander Away. You want to say anything about it before we start it?
This is one of the few songs that we've written without a real chorus.
Yeah?
We'll say that. You'll get it when you hear it.
You'll get it when we hear it. Okay, well, let's play for it. And this is self-produced, right? You produce all, Ben?
We did. So we produced this album together.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a studio at the house. I actually moved to Nashville to go to audio engineering school.
Really? Where'd you go?
SAE.
SAE, okay.
Yeah, downtown. That was in 2006.
Awesome.
So we did this whole album out of our house. We didn't mix it or master it. We sent that off, but we did engineer it there.
That's fantastic. Let's take a listen.
Away and build yourself some time. Get a monkey off your back. Leave the sorrow on the side. You could speak your mind when your world is given out. Tell them how you feel. Say it all out loud. Ooh. Give some love. It will always be enough. When you've got nothing to give, give up some of your love. Turn your eyes from where your trouble was. Fix them on a thing far more glorious.
Great song. They are Goldpine, and you're listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. We got Ben Wilson here and Kassie.
Yeah.
Beautiful voices. And a song that you wrote together, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Boy, that song was written probably such a long time ago. I can't even remember.
Was that BC before COVID?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's all a blur.
All a blur.
There's a couple songs on this album that we had started probably 7 to 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We just could not figure out how to finish that song. And then, you just keep looking at it, a year down the road, and finally something clicks.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was one of them, maybe.
Yeah.
And it was a special message, right? I mean, it's got a deeper meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that song, I guess, really is kind of like a public service announcement for mental health.
Yeah.
Kind of separating yourself from anxieties, from worries of the world.
Yeah.
And I love the third verse, setting your eyes on something more glorious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very nice. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, you're from Iowa, Ben, and
Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Now, I read that you get your name Goldpine because you lived on Pine Avenue or something.
Yeah.
You didn't say where in Alabama, though, and I was curious.
Yeah, I was born in Coleman, Alabama.
Coleman.
So northern.
Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then I was raised in Somerville. And so when I grew up, the road we lived on was called Pines Road.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pines Road is like the past. And then gold is like the future for it's the lasting element that can withstand anything. So that's our future. And we just made up our own word.
Yeah.
Goldpine.
Goldpine.
It's a good word.
I like that. Yeah.
It's fun to say, too,
It is fun to say.
Goldpine.
And it sticks in your head.
Rolls off the tongue real good.
It really does.
Real good. Yeah. And prior to that, you had a different name. My One and Only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the idea about changing over?
Yeah, so we were called My One and Only for 5 years, maybe 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
6.
6. But who's counting?
How
long you been married?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a funny thing. Every time someone would introduce us as My One and Only, introducing My One and Only, and then all the girls in the crowd would just be like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And we're a married couple.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that were kind of coming off as just a, how do I say this? We were looking for some more depth. I can say it that way.
Okay.
Some more depth, a little more edge.
Uh-huh.
And so we thought the change of name was what would do it. So yeah, Goldpine it is.
Fits more who you are. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus my one and only. It was hard to search online.
It's hard to say.
It's 4 different words.
It is easier to find, right?
Yeah.
And it's all one word, right? Goldpine.
Yep. One word.
I've heard your music described as raw Americana, kind of that. You had it. Curious grit, Southern soul with curious grit.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, obviously Cassie is the Southern soul part of that that statement. You know, she grew up in Alabama, as you mentioned, listening to really a whole variety of stuff. But you moved to Nashville to sing country music back in, 01, 02, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And, I grew up in Iowa. I didn't listen to country music whatsoever. Grew up in Iowa. Grew up listening to a lot of Christian contemporary music, and then in high school branched out to like alternative rock and whatnot.
Okay.
But moving to Nashville really opened my eyes to the Southern music culture, and I love the feeling and the soul in the Southern music. I mean, there's something really moving there, and so the Southern soul, and I guess. Maybe I'm the curious grit part of that statement. Maybe you're the curious grit too.
You're for sure the curious. But I don't know about the grit.
So I'm just one word out of that statement.
Did they mean grits? Or that's Alabama? I don't know. Curious grits? Well, it's crazy too because we're so different. And before we were a duo, we were both solo artists. And so I did country soul and he did alternative folk rock. And so I think when you meld those, meld, when you put those two together, I am from Alabama. Words are hard.
Yes.
So, but when you put those together, it just makes this unique, different sound. And so that was a good way to describe it. But also, we think so differently, we speak so differently, and so when we started writing together, it was just like this whole new genre, so to say. And I love writing with him because I would never say anything the way that he would, and so I could come up with an idea, and then he just like transforms it into something so much more beautiful, And so it's just neat that together we can create kind of like our own genre.
These are the things I love to hear on this show. And I've always said I hate genres, but it's the people I think that are defining their own genre, folks like you, that I think are doing well today. And there are a lot of opportunities to do that today through the internet and the different venues that we have that we didn't have before. That old double-edged sword that we talk about in past podcasts. But anyway, you've done a very good job. Now, how did you meet? How did this whole meld come together?
So we met about 15 or 16 years ago at a small startup church that was meeting in a cafeteria of a school in a suburb of Nashville in Antioch. Okay. And we both lived there, and I was just visiting the church, and Ben was playing guitar in the praise and worship band, which was 2 members, him and one other person.
That was my first duo. Brother Leroy.
Brother Leroy.
And I was just visiting, and there was probably maybe 15 people there. And I saw Ben, and I was like, I was going for Jesus, but then I found my husband too.
2 for 1 deal.
It was a 2 for 1 deal. It was a Black Friday deal. Yeah, and so that's how we met, and then we just kind of kept seeing each other all over the place. Like he worked at back in the day, there was a place, it's still there, Edge Hill.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah.
Back in the day, he worked at the coffee shop, and me and my old manager would meet there because he liked to smoke cigars and sit out and drink coffee. And so I would sit out there, and I don't do either one of those things. And so Ben was behind the counter, and then we just kept seeing each other everywhere, and I MySpaced him. That's
back
showing
in the
my
MySpace
age.
Day.
He was my top 8 for sure.
Awesome. Very nice. the relationship goes back to the MySpace
That
days.
just totally ages us, for sure.
So you both knew you were into music. When did you decide to try to write together? Is that how it started, or
No.
So I was playing guitar for Cassie on some of her songwriting rounds, like when she would be a part of those, and doing some backups. And she was singing on some of my shows. I didn't have very many, but that I would do. And so we did that for years, just kind of back and forth like that. And then, but mostly we were doing like Cassie's thing, because she actually has a couple CDs out of her own.
Oh, great!
Under Cassie Miller.
Cassie Miller.
I think those are just those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it wasn't till, I don't know, 7-8 years ago that we decided to really become a duo.
Good.
We just thought before that songwriting together was going to be too hard to meld these two styles. And there was somebody that we met with, I think they were a manager or something, and
It was a songwriting competition. Remember, we both entered it separately on separate days, and he heard both of us, and you won that week, and then he asked to meet with us.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
So he met with us, and we sat down around a table at a coffee shop, and he said, you guys are kind of shooting yourself in the foot by not putting your forces together and writing together. Huh? Two people's promotion, two people's skills are way better than one.
Wow.
And so he was really the instigator of putting us together, and we thought after that, okay, let's try this out. Let's get over this hump.
Yeah.
And we did get over that songwriting hump, and it wasn't very easy, but
I was going to say, was it hard at first?
It was.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Because two different styles,
Yeah.
Yeah. And how so were your styles different? How would you describe that?
What was your
more-
style?
Well, I would say I like country soul, and so I wrote all country music. So
Okay. Well,
like,
some of your influences.
well, it's not going to match up with my
No.
with the writing.
Okay.
My musical influences were different because my voice is more soulful, but my writing was country.
I got you.
Like I love just good country story songs, and when I first met Ben, I wrote most of my first album about Ben.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I don't know, just I don't know. We were just so different. But when we came to, and what did you write about? Yours was
What
like
did I
more
write?
in depth. Like yours just super deep.
Yeah, I was listening to, in high school, listening to a lot of Adam Duritz from Counting Crows, and a lot of alternative rock. And so I was not writing story songs. I was writing like heart-wrenching, emotional, emo-ish songs,
I got you.
So you can imagine those two styles would be hard to meld.
Mm-hmm.
But we did figure something out. I mean, I feel like we still have that story content in our current music, but we also have that kind of heart-wrenching thing going on. So
Good.
It's the best of both worlds, maybe.
Sounds great.
And we figured out who we are. I didn't know. I was so young. I mean, I started writing when I first moved to town, and I moved to town when I was 19.
Wow.
And I had only written poetry before. And so then I remember when I first started writing, I didn't even really know what I was writing about. You'd go and sit in a room and let's write a song. And, but now it's like our songwriting now, we call ourselves storytellers. Like we're under the umbrella of Americana, but we're storytellers. And I say that because we write about things that are true, near and dear to our heart, like real things, like, Wander Away, people dealing with, mental health. And then we have like songs about addiction. My brother's a past addict. My mom passed away, and we have so many songs about family and things that we've gone through in our marriage, and good and the bad. But the thing about us is we're honest, transparent, and we just want to share that with people because I want them to know that you're not alone in the stuff you're going through.
That's awesome.
And it took me a long time to be able to get to that point where I could be that honest with myself and my lyrics. And together, I think we express that really well.
You've helped each other in that regard. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you mentioned your mom, and I know that song that you wrote that got you the big award recently was about your mom.
Yeah, we wrote that about my mom. My mom was sick for about 3 years, and
So sorry.
yeah, thank you. We were disgustingly close, like annoyingly.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm from Alabama, and I think this is a Southern thing, but she lived in Nashville, but we talked on the phone like 3 times a day. Ben's like, what do y'all talk about? I'm like, nothing, but everything, you know? And he's like, no, I don't know. But anyways, she was sick for like 3 years. And I had always wanted to write her a song to tell her how I felt about her through our language of music. Because honestly, I've been very honest with things in my past, but I also wanted to just shine the beauty of the relationship that we have in the way that I look at her. And so one of the last times that she was in the hospital, Ben and I went home, and he said, we should write that song now. And I was like, I just don't think I can do that. And he was like, we should. And I'm so glad that he did and was persistent. Sometimes I just need a big kick in the butt. And so he was like, come on. And so we wrote the song. It came so quickly, so effortlessly. And then
Emotion was high then, you know?
Yeah. And we went back to the hospital, and because we live a mile from the hospital, we went back up there, and it was during COVID, so you could only have one person in the room at a time. And so we knew that he needed to be there too for the first time that she heard it. And so, I mean, we just did the responsible thing, because that's what you should do. And so we snuck Ben in an emergency exit so he could be there. And she loved the song, and it was her favorite song. And she, you know, I'm so grateful that we got to write that song and before she passed. And another thing, like during COVID, I'm not sure if you've heard of this app, but there's an app called Marco Polo where you send videos back and forth of yourself through this app. And so we did that a lot with my mom, because I couldn't be around her because she was so susceptible to getting sick. And so we took her vocal and her voice from some of the Marco Polos and put it into the recording, the live recording, so you can hear it on all the streaming platforms or whatever. And her voice is in it, but we didn't tell her.
Oh, my.
And so the first time that she got to hear it, we were sitting, after it had been recorded, we were sitting on her couch. I have the video still on my phone. And her being able to hear her voice, she goes...
Yeah.
She said, that's me. And we're like, yeah, it's you. Wow. And so, and Ben also made a video, and put her in it. And so I have so many things from that song that I'll treasure forever, and just having her voice on it too. Oh, yeah. And I just wish she could know that, you know, like, oh, look what happened, you know, your song won. So
I think she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can they hear that version anywhere out there online?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's under our old band name, My One and Only.
My One and Only.
All those 4 words. On Spotify, anything, if you can find My One and Only. Okay. Yeah, it's a single under that name.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's on all the streaming platforms.
We'll look for it. But we're lucky to have you here, and you brought your guitar to the dining room table, our old Duncan Fife. And I just love to play live music here. So if you could pick that up and share that song, I would really appreciate that. Yeah. Goldpine is our guest. Ben, Kassie.
So this song is called My Favorite Parts of You. And it's for my mom and about my mom, Deborah.
Deborah.
It was Saturday at the Conoco. You were in the back, cutting checks for payroll. I was counting up some play money and pretending I was answering your phone. We'd lock it up for the night, said you wouldn't be back till Monday morning light. And on the way you let me steer while I was on the passenger side. See, I've been watching you, and I've been thinking it too, how all the best parts of me are my favorite parts of you. The sound of your screen door closing closing brings me back to the table, overflowing with large elbow mac and cheese, southern boiled pinto beans, all the pots and pans just to soak in. You turned and asked me what I think. Did I maybe want some unsweet tea to drink? You filled my glass up to the top, and I'd go and grab the lemon by the sink. See, I've been watching you, and I've been thinking it too. How all the best parts of me are my favorite parts of you. And all the things I do, they remind me of you. All the best parts of me are my favorite parts of you. All the best parts of me are my favorite parts of you.
Wow, just wow. That's amazing. I can see why that was the winner of the 2022 Rocky Mountain Songwriter Contest at Red Lodge Songwriter Festival. What an amazing song.
Thank you.
Amazing. The best parts of me are, that's just wonderful. I can't imagine.
Thank you.
All teary-eyed. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with Goldpine on our Songwriter Connection podcast.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Wow. I'm still in just like wowed. What a great song. Fantastic stuff. Man. And that's out there under your old name, My One and Only.
My One and Only.
We're going to search and find that. I know some folks may be driving right now, but first chance you get, you want to listen to this podcast again, back it up. You can listen to the live version around the dining room table or find that recorded version. I love to hear Deborah's voice on there. I just got to hear it now.
Yeah.
We'll
She's super Southern. And so it's really funny. One of the things that we pulled from the recording was she said, well, there's 5 minutes of your life you're never going to get back.
Wow.
She's cute.
Yeah. And you do have that soulful voice. You really do, guys. I love your voice.
Thank you.
Sounds really good. You blend together so well, both of you guys. Benjamin playing guitar there. So on that Gibson. That's a cool Gibson there.
I love it.
Absolutely.
And actually, if you go to our Instagram, which is Goldpine Music, in the bio, there's a link tree. And on that link tree says, listen to our old music from My One and Only. And that'll take you to the Spotify.
Oh, right on.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's how you find it, folks. Absolutely. So you said Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah, Coleman. Mm-hmm. Driving down 65.
Yep. There's like 3-4 exits, I think, just past Huntsville. Yeah. You know where I know that name from is I used to work at Ryman Auditorium. And it's really into the history of country music. And one of our favorites at Ryman was Minnie Pearl. And Minnie Pearl's whole career kind of started in Coleman, Alabama. Did you know that?
It. I didn't know that.
Yeah. One of her first jobs, she graduated from, we get a history lesson here. She graduated from Belmont back in the day when it was a finishing school for women. Her family was kind of well-to-do. And afterwards, she studied theater and she got a job working in theater in Coleman, Alabama. And she would take a train from there to where the theater was. And that's kind of where she got it started. And as a matter of fact, it's so funny. She lived with a family there that her whole character, Minnie Pearl, grew out of.
No, I believe that.
From observing that family.
Because when you were saying that she was kind of well off, I was thinking, and she talked like that? Howdy!
Howdy! It all came from the characters.
Well, you're welcome, Minnie.
Yeah. There you go. Right.
Wow, that's cool.
So maybe soon we'll be talking about you being from Coleman, Alabama.
Wow.
The next great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting people from Coleman, Alabama.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum
is
from Coleman, Alabama.
No kidding.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I mean, Magic Mike, I guess that's
Magic Mike?
name.
Yeah.
And then
it's the one with the abs, right? Chiseled. Yeah.
And then Hank Senior.
He had some time there?
Hank Senior, yeah.
Well, he was down...
Junior.
Okay, Hank Junior.
Yeah.
Okay, because Senior was down like
Yeah.
Montgomery below. Georgiana.
Forgot they're separate people.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, now there's Hank the third and fourth.
Right? It's like, I can't keep up with them.
I can't either. Yeah, and Holly. And, I love Holly. She just had her fourth child, I think. Anyway, wow. Hard to keep up. Yeah, so... Wonderful. Hey, how about some more music? Because I get sidetracked so easily, but I love the music live around this dining room table. You want to talk about what you want to do next? And are you recording new music yet?
We're going. Yeah, actually, we started. Actually, yeah. So in this month, next month, we're going to be home pretty much the whole month.
Yeah,
and hopefully working
on
a majority of a new album. Mm-hmm. Why are you shaking your head?
Yeah. The look was
no reason.
She's like, we have enough. We have some.
We ready?
No.
Can you share something new with us, or no? Is that too much to ask?
I don't have any new ones beyond the album. Well, no, they're not ready yet.
Okay,
they're not ready to come out.
How about something from the album one?
Yeah, let's do that.
Which, by the way, I want to commend you. You put a Johnny Cash song in there. Yeah. One of my favorite Johnny Cash songs. I do too. I still miss someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying you have to do that song. It's on the album, and folks, you can listen to it. It's a great version of it. So, what do you want to do?
You want to do? Oh, Kassie wants to play harmonica.
Ooh, love that.
I'm just trying to keep you on.
She loves playing harmonica.
Yeah. Well, good. What is this song? Tell us about that.
So this song's on the new album One. It's called About My Baby. Earlier this year in February, we were in Marshall County, Kansas, doing an artist in residency program.
Oh, cool.
And we were there for 3 weeks. And during those 3 weeks, we did all sorts of community events. Obviously, all of them were music oriented, but we did some interesting things like music for yoga flow classes.
Cool.
We did a biscuit judging contest where we sang afterwards.
That must have been fun.
It was in a museum, and it was called Biscuits and Jam, and we were the judges of the biscuits. And then after eating 23 biscuits,
you got to sing.
We were the jam. We were the jam.
You were the jam.
Yeah.
Like I was I need some stretchy pants before I sing this note.
And we did a lot of school events. We did assemblies, and we taught in music classes, entrepreneurship classes. Really so cool. Meaningful musical experience.
And we love Marysville, Kansas.
Yeah, it was great. But during this residency, it happened to be Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And I found myself, I wasn't prepared for Valentine's Day that year. And I was in the hotel, and I grabbed a sheet of paper. I was going to make a homemade Valentine's Day card. And I've done that. I've done stuff like that before. I like doing that. And so I pulled it out, and Kassie was gone, and I thought, what am I gonna write on this card? And I was thinking things like we were in the town of Waterville, Kansas at that time, and I thought maybe I should write things like I love you in Waterville, Kansas, or I love you in Dallas, Texas, even on the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I wrote a bunch of sweet things in this card. And it was a hit. The card was a hit. But I thought afterwards, we should take a look at this. I think we can turn this into a song. I really like this idea.
Never know. Yeah.
And so this song made the new album Cassie's going to play harmonica on this song.
Awesome.
She loves it when I point that out, by the way.
I hate it when he points that out, by the way.
Ready? Love her down in San Antone and on the Gulf of Mexico, in the markets of Santa Fe, on the peaks of Colorado.
I love him in Sedona sand, stars from the top of the van, with the cow mariachi band out there on the federal land. There ain't no other way to say, there ain't no other way to say the way I feel about my baby. I love her in a long black dress, I love her in a queen-size bed, burning by the TV light in the middle of a motel mess. I love her by the light of the stage and the way she knows everyone's name. I love her when she shows out, I love her when she hides away. There ain't no other way to say, there ain't no other way to say, there ain't no other way to say the way I feel about my baby. I love my baby here and there, I think I love her everywhere.
Very nice. Goldpine. Good song. That's on the new album One that you'll find out there everywhere. Spotify, all the different places that you can find music. You also have a web page too that I want to direct people to. What is your webpage?
Goldpinemusic.com.
And you've got some videos and some music there. And
Everything's there, yeah.
Merch is available too, right? You got
And all the links, whatever streaming platform you're on, all the links to our new album is on the front page of that website.
fantastic.
Yeah, we got all the merch. We have brand new hoodies that just came out.
Ooh, hoodies.
Yeah, because it's cold now that it's January.
Yep.
And we got our CD and all that stuff.
Good. You can actually get a physical copy, and we encourage you to do that. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. You know, I did some interesting research on you guys, and I saw that you did some very incredible missionary work. You went to Africa? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that experience. That's incredible.
Yeah, Cassie actually went first on her trip to Africa. She went on a music missions trip.
A music missions trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
So that was back in 07, 9, I don't know, somewhere back there. And she was so affected by that trip that she came back, and we went 6 months later to Rwanda, Africa. Yeah, together.
Rwanda, okay.
And we've been 7 times now, 7 times to Rwanda. So we started going on, missions trips. Then we led some of those trips to Rwanda. And the last couple times we went without any team. We know a lot of people in Rwanda. We can get around the country pretty well. And so, but we would always bring music over there somehow. We'd always bring an old guitar and we'd sing, particularly we would sing this old Hank Williams Sr. song, I Saw the Light.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids over there just gravitated towards that song. They loved that song so much. And they were singing it back to us.
Wow.
From the second year we went back to play that song, they were already singing it back to us in English.
Isn't that great?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And so we'd always play that song and just visit. We have a sponsored daughter over there named Kevine.
Yeah.
She's about 15 or 16 years old by now, and we've been able to sponsor her for about 10 years.
Oh.
And so 7 times we've had the opportunity to go over there and spend a couple days with her. Just really amazing experiences. It's cool to be at least that much a part of her life.
You're so talented, and you give of yourself. Big hearts as well. That's awesome. Love that story. Yeah. Music mission, huh?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. I was like, music is our mission, but yeah, a music mission trip. It was crazy. It was mostly pastors, music ministers, and I was the only artist that went. Wow. And so, it just kind of wrecked my world, and it just created this love and desire for us to continue going back. And
that's awesome.
It's been great to be a part of Kevine's life, and be her mom. We don't have kids of our own, and we can't have kids either. I just had surgery. Had some this past year has been crazy. They found anyway. So I had to have surgery, and so it's cool. But honestly, if you're going to have children, that's the way to do it. Just leave them in other countries.
I hear you.
She doesn't talk back.
No, she doesn't, and you don't have to put her through college.
But we will. But we will.
But you will.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, we'll pay college. I don't know when. Right, we got to get her through school right now.
Get her through school right now.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. So you have a trip planned back there soon?
We don't right now. We haven't been since before COVID, and then that kind of stopped everything. So I don't know. We have a lot of touring here in the States.
You got a busy
so we're
summer
gonna figure
ahead of you,
out
spring and summer.
Yeah, we're going to figure out what happens in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Put a lot more miles on that van out there. Huh?
So many miles.
Yeah.
So many miles.
Going back through Texas and
In
May we're doing Kerrville Folk Festival main stage.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
So excited.
And honestly, Texas has been our favorite place to tour.
Yeah.
There's so many cool music venues. There's so many crowds that are yearning for original live music out there. Unlike most states that we've been to, I mean, you'll just be traveling down the road and see this venue on the side of the road, and you think that it's just some backwoods bar, but there's a guy in it playing an all original set, and people are loving it inside. I mean, Texas is just its own cool
It's like a
thing.
whole nother country.
It really is.
They got their own country charts, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really amazing
to be a part of.
We love Texas.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, I'd love to hear more music from you guys. Since we've got the guitar out around the dining room table, can we get another song from you?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Should we do the one about Rwanda? Since we're talking about Rwanda?
Hey, that would be awesome. We set that up perfectly.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. We didn't even think about that. I didn't bring my harmonica in for that. I know Ben's really sad.
I'll cover it. Wait, this is it right here.
Oh,
See? I thought
there
it was
it is.
G.
See.
Sure.
that.
Well, there you go.
Right key and everything.
Yeah, tell them about
What's the
this.
name of this song?
So this one, I guess, technically is a new one, like you were asking before.
Okay.
This one's not on the album or recorded anywhere. The name of so in Rwanda, you fly into a city called Kigali, and once you land there, we take a 3-hour bus ride to another city called Gisenyi. And that bus ride is through the winding hills of Rwanda.
Wow.
And it's one of the most beautiful bus rides that I've been on. And it's public transportation, so it's packed with like a ton of Rwandans and then 2 Americans, me and Kassie. And so you can look left and right out the windows on this bus, and you can see the 1,000 hills of Rwanda, and it's the green lush. You can see cultivation lines all the way up these hills, banana trees and monkeys, and just it's amazing.
I can about picture it in my mind as you're saying that.
Yeah, I love it. And I always feel inspired on this bus ride. So I remember one time I popped some earbuds in, and I started writing this song because I had heard of a motto that Rwanda had. And the motto went like this. It said, "God spends his days elsewhere, but he sleeps in Rwanda."
Wow.
And I thought, I got to write a song. So the chorus on this song says, "Isinzira mu Rwanda." And in the language of Rwanda, that means he sleeps in Rwanda. So this one goes out to our Rwandan friends. It's called Land of Rolling Hills. Land of rolling hills, roll over me and put me on the road that leads to the city. Past the weathered feet on their way somewhere before the clouds bring rain to the African air. Oh, God spent his days in some other place. But he says, I'm gonna wonder. You caused my heart to ache. You laid me in the dust and lured me back the lover who had earned my trust. Still I'll never understand where all those dirt roads lead. But oh, if we could walk them, then maybe we'd see. Oh, God spent his days in some other place. But he says, see it, I'm gonna wonder. Oh, God spends his days in some other place. But he says, sit on what wonder. He says, sit on what wonder. He says, sit on what wonder.
What I love most about this podcast, live music around the dining room table, they are Goldpine. Don't put that away, because before we go, I've got to hear you do this song, When I Get to Heaven, which is from the one record that just came out in August. Goldpine has been our guest today, and I want to thank you again for taking time out of your very busy traveling schedule, and I know you're home for a little while, and rest and all the best to you. Okay,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh man, we're gonna do it again when the new record comes out. Okay,
Love it.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
please
Gonna hold
do.
you to it.
Ah, Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to it.
You hold me to it. You better believe it. And we've got that exclusive Ravonda song here on the podcast.
Actually, yeah.
You
It's
know.
not even, yeah.
Yes, they're going to. Here we go. Yeah. So this was from The One. The album called The One. One. Just called One, not The One. One. And this was a single too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was the latest single off the album One.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, take us out with that one if you would.
Let's take them to church.
Yeah, man.
Let's take them to church now.
Take us to church.
Yeah, that's right.
Better get on that volume button over there towards the end.
It's a great song.
When I get to heaven, I'm gonna climb the tallest tree. I'm gonna stand upon the clouds, yeah, just so I can see. I'm gonna lay my head down right on top of your chest. I'm gonna sleep for 5 days straight. Yeah, now I won't be worth for nothing else. When I get to heaven, when I see the light, know it's time for leaving. I'm divorcing this life. We'll be filing all the papers, shining on the light. I've got my affairs in order, and Jesus on the main line. When I get to heaven, when I see the light, I know it's time for leaving. I'm divorcing this life. On Boulevard to go, I shall not be in no rush. I'll be leaning in on the table, filling up on love. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call me up and tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Jesus on the main line, tell him what you want. Call him up and tell him what you want. What you want.
Amazing voice of Kassie Wilson. Also, Ben with us. They are Goldpine. Look them up. You love them. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Great to have you here. We'll see you again.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.